never use my. Okay, everybody. My name is Alyssa, and I have been with Monat since last November 1st was my enrollment date. I've been in network marketing though. Actually, June 8th was my 4-year anniversary in the industry, which is crazy. So I'm excited. On Wednesdays, every Wednesday, I'm going to be sharing tips and tricks that are tangible that you can apply to your business when it comes to content, messaging, following up, like building relationships, all the things. But today I wanted to talk about the energetics of your business, because if you don't have the right energy and emotion behind what you're doing, it doesn't matter what you're doing if you are feeling you're not in the right mind state. Okay, so we just need to understand this first and foremost so that you can check yourself. If you feel in a low vibe emotion, you can go do some things to help you get your vibe up, to then go take action so that you can actually get the results that you want. So I shared that emotional scale in the chat, and you guys can reference that later. Or I was going to share my screen, but you can just go and look at it later. Or if you have your phone right now, you can go and open it up. So on the left side, there's elevated emotions, which, it's knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation, passion, enthusiasm, optimism, hopefulness, all those like really great feelings, And then on the left side, it's boredom, pessimism, overwhelm, doubt, blame, discouragement, all these like jealousy, comparison, like all those low vibe emotions that I feel like we can very easily feel in this business. But it just comes down to you being aware of your thoughts when those things happen, so you can switch it around and just stop and ask yourself when you start to feel those things, like, why am I feeling like this? And then do something about it and get yourself out of that slump. Because I know if I'm like going into messaging people and I feel some type of way that is not good, I just, I don't do it, because I know I'm not going to get the results that I want out of the conversations that I'm starting. So I do something like, one way you can, I'm going to share in the chat actually this meditation that I really love to raise my vibration. It's a, where did I put it? I just opened it right before this. There it is. Basically, it's like a shifting your reality meditation to help you think about, your goals and what you're working for, and just give you these feelings. And this might be, I know Kaylin has listened to this with me before, but I've literally listened to this. I was really good for like probably 2 weeks straight, and now I've been trying other ones. But it's very good for helping you just like bring yourself back to what your goals are and reminding yourself of why you're doing the work and why it's worth it, etc. So save that in a tab. Something I can share it in the chat too, or if you watch this after the recording, or if you watch the recording and you want what I'm talking about, just send me a message and I'll link you up. And I wanted to read out of this book, Becoming Supernatural. If this is such a game changer book when it comes to understanding your emotions and how they affect your everyday life. So he's talking about emotion in this page, and he says, Sebastian, I can't give you a hug right now. Sorry. I can't, sorry. Hold on, I have to yell. Had to get his data. Okay, so he says emotion is energy in motion. That's literally what emotion stands for, energy in motion. So elevated emotions carry a higher frequency than survival emotions. So if you want to create change, you have to do it from a level of energy that's greater than guilt, greater than pain, greater than fear, greater than anger, greater than shame, greater than unworthiness. In fact, any low vibrational energy that you are feeling cannot carry the thought of your future dream. It will carry only a level of consciousness equal to those limited emotions. Therefore, if you're going to perform something that's unlimited, you better feel unlimited. And if you want to create freedom, you better feel free. The more elevated the emotion you feel, the greater the energy you broadcast, and the more influence you will have on the material world of matter. The greater your energy, the shorter the amount of time it takes for your manifestation to appear in your life. So when you are in those high vibe emotions, you literally have a field around you that expands. And then like, let's say you're like, I'm so excited to enroll my next Rockstar market partner, and you like hype yourself up and you're going after it. And then you start messaging people about the business and you're feeling like on a high, then you're going to have better results with the messages you're sending, opposed to going into it like, nobody wants this, no one can afford it. I'm afraid to message this person because they're going to judge me. Like, having that feeling, as opposed to like, hell yeah, I'm going to offer everybody this business because everybody needs extra money. Like, you see the difference, like you can feel it as I'm talking, the difference in how you're just like presenting yourself and the energy field around you. And also when you're feeling like you're going to get judged or whatever, you kind of the energy field around you closes in and it can't attract things as much as that elevated emotion, and having that field opened up a lot more. So that is just very important to understand and be. I'm going to give you guys some homework after this to help yourself become aware of emotions that come up as you're starting to go into doing the work. And okay, so in the chat, I want you to drop a 1 if you have either went to school where you were required to show up to class for a certain amount of hours every week, or if you've worked a job where you had to be clocked in for 8 hours or longer. Who has ever done either of those? I've done both. I feel like probably everybody in here has. So I want to point that out because when it comes to this business, like the problem isn't doing the work. You guys, we all know how to work. We all know how to show up for 8 hours a day and do the work. We all know how to go to class and pay attention. The difference is, you know, it's not the work, it's the belief that you have behind the work you're doing. So getting yourself in those elevated emotions is very important when you're going to do the action steps. And I always think about too, the difference between people that is not muted. Got it. Okay. Sorry. So I think about sometimes there's 2 people that can come into this business with the same exact background, same exact time in a day to do the work, same exact like whatever life issues that they might have. And one person will quit in 90 days and the other person can stick around and end up going director and making $800,000 a month. But what's the difference between those 2 people if they have the same exact situation in their home, same exact time of day? Like the difference is the one person believes in themselves to keep going and the other person doesn't. So it's all about your belief, and you need to really work on that, which is something that we want to do here. 95% of your beliefs are in your subconscious mind. You will never outperform your subconscious beliefs with your conscious desires. So in our brain, we have neural networks that are programmed on certain stories. The more we tell ourselves these stories, the stronger the synaptic connections become in our brains. So essentially, our brains are hardwired to repeat the same pattern. So if you grew up thinking you're not worthy, you were told that you're never going to amount to anything, all these things that can hold us back in what we're doing, a lot of which are based on what Jaden was talking about, a couple of calls that she did like 2 calls ago, where, you know, you're in this theta brainwave from ages 0 to 7. So a lot of these beliefs that we have now as adults were programmed into us during those ages. But the thing is, you can change it. So if you're able to create the limitation, we're able to create the expansion as well. And the moment you choose to believe in a new story, you're going to see new opportunities. So I want you guys to drop some limitations you have around the work that you do in this business when it comes to reaching out to people, when it comes to creating content. Like it can just be one. I'll tell you some of mine too. But I just want people to drop things that they personally deal with, because I want you all to know you're not alone and we all go through this. Just things that pop up for all of us. So some of mine are, I'm not good at managing money, so I'm not deserving of a lot. Like I feel like I know that I can be amazing, but I hold myself back from taking action because I'm afraid of the money that I'll get, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing with a lot of money. And then another one I have is I'm too old to see success. Like I'm 32 years old, you guys. I'm going to be 33 in November. And, you know, I'm actually inspired by a lot of the girls I see on like Instagram that are in the company and stuff. And like, but a lot sometimes, and I'm really good at like switching my thoughts, but this is just something that comes up for me a lot. Like, you're 33 years old, bitch. Like, what do you think you're going to do? But it's something that we work on. Okay. And then another thing that's been popping up recently is the economy with, you know, like inflation and the recession going to happen. I feel like in my head, people aren't going to want to spend money, which is just like a limiting belief, which I'm going to tell you how I work through that. And then also I feel like I don't have enough time to put in quality work because I know content creation takes time. I know, you know, actually having like solid conversations and building quality relationships takes time, but also a limiting belief, which I'm going to tell you guys how I work around these ones that I have. So those are some of the ones that I have, but I know this is all ego, and you have to ask yourself when these self-limiting beliefs pop up, like what would your higher self say to you in this situation? And what can you do to implement new actions? So for me, with the money thing, I can work on my relationship with money and my money management. And I have a financial advisor. I do a monthly budget now. I just started doing this within the last 6 months. So I basically know where my money's coming in and where my money's going out every month, where before I would just kind of ignore it and like fly by the seat of my pants and hope that I have enough to pay my bills. Like I'm just getting that under control. So that's something you can do if you have that money one. It's just like build your relationship with your money, have a closer, you know, talk to your money every day, get to know it, know where it's coming from, know where it's going. So that is one that's something I'm doing to work on that money limiting belief I have. And then just being grateful for the money that I do have. Like today, we got paid today. And my check was like smaller than it has been in the past, but I was still grateful for that money coming in regardless, because that's money that I didn't have before. You know, if I weren't working this business, I wouldn't have that money. So that's like a huge one too, is just being grateful for the amount you have. So then the universe will bless you with more, because if you're ungrateful for whatever amount, like if you're ungrateful for like a $12 check, what makes you think you're deserving of more than that? You know, you got to like just show gratitude regardless of how much it is, so you can open yourself up to having more. And then as for the economy one, oh, I missed one. For people like feeling too old, I then look at people, I'll like go straight to Sarah Hill's page. She's SED. I think she's like in the $5 million club, maybe 10. I don't know. She makes a lot of money though. And I know her story. She started this business when she was 34, and it took her like, I think she just turned 40. So it only took her like 6 years to get, you know, making that much money in this business. I'm like, okay, that makes me feel better about my age at this moment, because she even started after, like, when she was older than I am right now. So it's just like, okay, like I just immediately go to her page and be like, okay, she could do it, so can I. That's like the most empowering thought you can have. So if you can find somebody's story that inspires you, not somebody you compare yourself to, but somebody that inspires you to know, like, if this person can do this, so can I. So like just bring yourself to that realm and like get that feeling, because that one's really good to have. And then as for the time thing, or no, economy. So our products are cheaper in the long run than most brands out there. We know that, right? So I just tell myself that, like, people are going to be washing their hair regardless. People aren't going to stop washing their hair regardless of inflation or recession. And we can give them quality products that are actually cheaper in the long run than what they can get elsewhere. So that's something I tell myself. And then also as for the business side, like, everybody you know needs money. I can't think of one person I know that's like, no, I wouldn't want to make extra money right now. So those are two thoughts that I like immediately switch to. If I have those limitations come up, I'm just like, no, that's wrong. Have to be really good at, that's what I mean about becoming aware of your thoughts that you're thinking and being able to switch them into something positive, so you don't dwell in the negative for too long, because just can't be there. And then as for no feeling like I don't have any time, I've really been working on the past, since May 1st, I got my business coach. We've been really working on a schedule and like my dream day and what time I want to wake up, and time blocking, and actually using any sort of system that works for you. I use the Structured app. I also have an actual physical planner where I plan out my weeks, and then I have the Structured app for my days. So you can really see where your time is going and where you do have spare pockets of time, and like actually opening yourself up to looking at where you do maybe waste time and being able to change that. Like, that's huge. So just taking the action to switch up these self-limiting beliefs and applying things that you know will help you is going to be the key. So, I mean, and I just want to say too, this business as a whole is a medium to your soul expression. It's not so much about like how many sales you get or how big your team can grow. It's about, you know, a vehicle of your journey and who you're supposed to become. So if you've been in for a while and you take away all the enrollments you've got, all the money you've made, like, look at who you were when you first started and look at where you are now. Like, that personal growth is the freaking goal. And that's like, if you have grown in any way, shape, or form, like, you are being successful. So just remember that too, and try to take yourself off of being transactional in your business and be more transformational, and look at how you are changing, and then think about how many other people you can help have that same transformation in their, you know, in the belief in themselves, in their mindset, in like whatever way you've grown that's not monetary. You can give that to other people, and that's the beauty of it. So call to action, and I'll like type up I can just send my notes actually that I typed up, but I want everybody to have a vision. So if you don't have a vision, I mean, I feel like everybody on here right now has been in for a while, but like for brand new people, if you're watching the replay, you need to have a vision, because every successful person has a vision that no one else could see for them. And if you don't have a vision, you'll be stuck in what you already know, and you're just going to keep repeating the same thing. Like, you're going to have the same life. Nothing's going to change. And I love this quote from Helen Keller: "The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision." Ooh, isn't that crazy? I love that quote, and it's just something to think about. So if you're constantly focusing on other people and don't do things for yourself, you're just going to get depleted. So remember that. And I want you to create your identity. So I am or I am not can be the most powerful or most lethal things you can say to yourself. So I am good at content, or you could even say negative things about yourself, like I'm tired. Like, when you wake up in the morning, you literally say I'm tired, like, that's what you're setting yourself up with for the day. So even if you do feel tired, like, just wake up and start affirming, like, I have energy. I am expansive. I am going to like murder this day. Murder's probably not the right word. We need to be more positive than that. But you know what I'm saying? Like if you do feel tired, just try to switch it around again, like using your thoughts to switch up how you feel. So I'm going to put this stuff in the chat, but just write those I am statements and then live into those things. And how are you going to support your higher self? What concepts do you have and how can you implement it into the 3D world? So if you want to be good at content and that's one of your statements, what do you need to do to become good at content? Does that mean posting something every day that might not be the best in order to become the best? Because you're not going to start out great until you do it. So if you want, if you have an idea of your higher self and like you want to become, maybe you could win an award for your transitions, or I don't even know, but that means you have to start somewhere and be consistent with it. So think about how you can have this concept in your mind of what you want to become and what you have to implement to become that. And then create awareness around your stories and all those limiting beliefs that we were talking about. Just for the next 24 hours, even use a note in your phone or a notebook and call in this gentle awareness to yourself. Like when you go to take action, when you're going to send somebody a message, maybe somebody on your scary list, or when you're going to make a post or create a reel, and then you stop yourself because of some limiting belief that comes up. Like notice what thought comes up. Like for me, I would always, I would go to create content and then I'd be like, oh, I have to do the dishes, or Sebastian needs me, or I have to go on the deck and wave at the sun. Or like, I would just like stop myself from taking the action that I know I need to take. And it's just like self-sabotage when it's like, okay, you can create the reel and then tend to all that stuff too. Just get the work done first because you're going to feel so much better when you do. But if you take the next 24 hours and just notice the beliefs that come up, the things you tell yourself on why you can't complete something, why you can't reach out to people, why you can't follow up, and just notice how you self-sabotage yourself. So that's something you can do. And if you, I know one common limiting belief is like you feel annoying when you're posting all the time in your stories, or you feel annoying following up with people. You need to switch that into I persevere. I'm not annoying, I persevere. I can tell you in the last 4 years of being in this industry, I've never had anybody flat out tell me I'm annoying. I've never had anyone say that to me. And I'm like pretty damn consistent when it comes to posts and being in my story and following up. Literally nobody's ever told me I'm annoying, but I have had people reach out to me and tell me how inspiring I am to them when they see my posts all the time. I have had people I'm following up with tell me that they appreciate me and my follow-ups and keeping them in the loop. Like I have had people be positive in what I'm doing, even though I could possibly, in the eyes of somebody, feel annoying because I'm showing up all the time. It's like people actually appreciate you doing that stuff. So just remember that too. Like, even if you think you're annoying, like ask yourself, who told you that? A lot of the times it's just you in your head. You're the only person talking down to yourself. So just take the inspired action, get your belief level up, and you must remain aware, because the moment you forget and start stressing, you're going to return back to those same thought patterns, and then you'll start feeling the same old familiar emotions, and you're going to disconnect from the energy of your future the moment you feel the familiar energy of distress and discouragement and all this kind of stuff. So I think that is, I just wanted to talk about, like, you guys need to be in the right mind state when you're going to take action with your business. And I just want to set that as the groundwork moving forward. So the following weeks, I'm going to be doing, very tangible message ideas, content tips, social media tips, like things that you can actually apply to your business to make yourself better. But I just wanted to make sure you understand, like, the belief and the energy behind the things you're doing is what matters most. Does anyone have any questions before we end the call? And I'm so happy that you guys all got on. I'm excited to do this every week and just have this community. And I'm so happy you're all here. Anyone? Okay, I'll get the recording and send it. And I'll send you the homework that I wrote out to you. Everyone better do it. You send it to somebody. Send it to your upline, send it to the whole chat. We can like chat about it together, whatever you want to do. Okay, I am going to end, and I love you so much. Bye.